I need to ask you a question. Be curious, Drifters.
Amelia's Jewel hits the front. Immature is coming right away for Damien Oliver. Bella Nipotina, and boy, doesn't she deserve this.
The Giga Kick's got a strong kick.
Golden Mile, soar out the mile. I'm thunderstruck over the top. Mr. Brightside has won the mile.
And Militarised blows them away in the Champagne Stakes. And she's a class act, pulling right away Prowess. And Zoo Gotcha won it by 2.5.
Zaki, joined by Animo, who looks destiny in the face.
Are you a big book guy? I'm going to say no. Reason being is that I'm very particular in what I actually want to read. Yeah. So, and I'm going to sound like a nerd right now, but I don't like reading that's anything. I don't like reading anything that's you're too historical.
Yeah, you're a fiction guy.
Big fiction guy. I'll read an autobiography.
Yep.
Of like something I really give a shit about, like horse racing. So like Winks, Black Caviar, all that sort of stuff, or like maybe like Ricky Ponting or something like that. But that's about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Why's that?
I'm big into my audiobooks, and it's not reading, but it's like close as, you know.
It's like a podcast.
Well, I'm a big podcast guy.
Yes, and I'm not, which is ironic.
Yeah.
Very ironic.
So I've been smashing my audiobooks recently. Honestly, the best audiobook I've ever listened to is the Harry Potter series. Because Stephen Fry narrates them.
Oh, does he?
Oh, mate. He
nails it.
Oh, his voice, spot
on.
Okay. But I listened to Matthew Perry's of Friends fame.
Yeah.
Recently. Holy shit, mate. Like, dark.
Oh, really?
Oh, just like the holes that he gets himself into is just like next level.
Yeah. Like a self-fulfilling prophecy type operation.
Yeah. But yeah, so very glad I'm not like touched by like the addiction stick like he. But like I listened to Matthew McConaughey's as well. He loves himself, mate.
Yeah, very confident, man.
Yeah. Cause like he has like these things called like bumper stickers, right? So it's like it will be a bumper sticker because he's a bit of a nomad. He has his own trailer, goes around, and then until he's got like a family, then he's like knuckled down, you know. But before that, he was just dry. He'd be like, all right, I've got this film that I need to film here, but other than that, I'll just like drive around and go to trailer parks and just like that's how I
chill
live.
Out, just vibe.
Yeah. So if you above that, if you're doing that lifestyle, you're obviously seeing a lot of bumper stickers. So he notes he's a big journaler. So he just notes down like bumper stickers. So he'll so it's like basically it's like things that can break up chapters or, you know, like certain passages within the book. And he goes like bumper sticker, and then he reads them out, and then he just laughs after it. It's like he's just like, nah, that was a good one.
Well, the thing is, I'm trying to put myself in his shoes, and if he's journeying around the country in a trailer, just him and the road and the great American outback, I don't know, then he'd have to enjoy his own company.
Yeah.
Therefore, he probably does rate himself.
Well, the other thing that he did was he set himself up with like basically a full recording setup in his own van, so he could like record his own thoughts and stuff. So very like deep thinker.
Yeah.
And because like he used to be the rom-com guy.
Yeah, he was.
And then he was off the scene for 2 years and basically didn't get any work. And then they were like, it was basically a self-fulfilling prophecy because he's like, I'm only looking at serious work.
Dallas Buyers Club.
Well, they made that film on like $4 million or something.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And did he get an Oscar for that?
Best actor.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. And then obviously,
you know, the famous speech, I'm my own hero or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm my own role model or whatever he said.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And then obviously he had that famous cameo in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. You know, that wasn't scripted.
Yeah, completely unscripted.
And Leo suggested to him that he puts that in because he was doing that before the scene to pump himself up. He's like, you need to do that in the scene.
Leo, what a guy.
Yeah.
And then, you know, a few others, Interstellar. Great movie.
Yeah.
Phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
A real mind-bending experience.
Yeah. I watched that when I was a bit fragile one day. And I was like, oh, what is happening?
The wrong
here?
decision. I'd encourage you to watch it again.
Yeah, okay.
It's a good movie.
Right.
But, big Texas Longhorns guy, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he initially didn't want to go there, but apparently it was the cheaper choice for his family.
There you go.
Yeah. So, interesting guy. Listening to Barack Obama's at the moment.
Yeah, right.
That is a dry read.
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
Yeah, you get the insight on like Vladimir. Australia doesn't get a mention at all.
No, we wouldn't. We're insignificant, mate. It's a small island down south. Very insignificant. But look, it's like I could think of 1,000 things I'd rather do than listen to that. Like straight up.
The next one I'm going to listen to is Anthony Bourdain's.
Yeah, okay.
I've heard it's like sensational, funny, but he's like obviously he had his own demons clearly. But like, yeah, basically he said that when he put that out, his world changed like overnight. So he wasn't really famous before he put that out.
Right.
Yeah. So
okay,
it'll be interesting. Anyway,
Harry Potter. Speaking of, Neville Longbottom.
Great. The Neville Longbottom Winterbottom Stakes. Overpass.
Yeah.
It was obvious, wasn't it?
Oh, it was so obvious. I couldn't believe the conjecture.
Yeah.
$3. He was drifting.
Because
that is a gift from God.
I opened up my Ned's app yesterday morning. I was like, all right, Corn Cob's been scratched.
That's a shame.
And he must have taken some of the market with him. I doubt it. But man, he was into 220 in Saturday morning. I'm like, okay, now that's getting close to his actual price. But yeah, as you said, 290 he started with Ned's.
Unbelievable. I could not believe that he wasn't like an odds-on $2 favourite. I could not believe it.
Overpass was trending in Australia on Twitter last night after the race.
Was he?
Yeah, because, mate, Twitter blew up. It's like, those are the most stupid price I've ever seen in history.
I said it. I said it during the week.
Now, we're about to go into the bend here, bend home. Josh Parr's ride on here is fascinating. Look how he fans out.
Yeah.
Finds the better ground. He goes about 10 wide.
Yeah. I thought that was weird as well. But he was just like, look, my thing's cruising. I'm just going to put him in
the best ground.
And all the things that were up front with him started fading and the back markers are coming into it. So they must have gone a decent clip.
Yeah, well, there was 3 1,200-metre races on the day. This was the second quickest. The fastest was the last, and it was only beaten by like a length, and it was a handicap, So, that kind of like comes into it. So they basically run the same time, but this race would have beaten the race 5 or whatever it was by like 7.5 lengths.
Yeah, right.
So they absolutely smashed him, and they went like pretty quick early.
That's what I mean. So he's absorbed all that pressure just sitting outside the lead.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where it was just so obvious that you just don't overthink it. And if it loses, you're just like, oh, wow, I got that completely wrong. But when it wins like that, you're just like, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's all I've got to say about it.
Yep.
Not Corn Cob, but Ripcord Cobb. He came flashing home in the third.
Yeah.
He did better than what I thought he would because I gave him nothing.
Yeah. Well, I thought he would beat home Oscar, but Oscar ran second. But you could see Oscar was paddling in the last because he laid into the fence where he was like about in the 4th or 5th lane.
Yeah.
So I think that horse is better suited to. That horse could come over for something like an Oakley Plate. I reckon you might see one of those two come over for an Oakley Plate based off that.
Yeah, well, Ripcord was a 3-year-old, so he's got plenty of racing in front of him. He's gelded too. They're both 3-year-olds. Yep.
Okay. They were the only 2 3-year-olds in the race who were on second, third.
Okay, there you go.
But
100%.
The Neville Longbottom hasn't. They've got a long history of 3-year-olds failing. So it's been like 30 or 40 years since they've won it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
And they were both what, about $6 or $7? Good people at Ned's. $8.
Ripcord was the big firmer, so that's where the market adjusted. So it was about $10 earlier in the week, and it started about 5s.
That to me is just absolutely unbelievable. That is unfathomable.
$3 for Overpass.
It's a
mate.
gift, mate.
Yeah,
That's a
And
gift.
You look at it, it's like, oh, he's only won by 1.5, 2 lengths. It's like in a 1,200 meter race, that's a big margin.
Yeah,
It's a huge
up
margin.
on that hot speed. Everything else was
Fanned out.
Everything else was fading behind him.
Yeah, sensational ride.
Great ride, great win.
Yep.
And great trainer, Bjorn Baker. Just from a hilarity ensues perspective,
Mate,
he's a funny bloke.
It's the most subdued I've seen him after a big win, mate. So there is a video. I'll try and find it of him watching because it was right there. Yeah, this is him watching it, right? So this video is 40 seconds long. I reckon mate, look at this. Takes a swig of his beer. I reckon 600 from home. There or thereabouts. You tell me this is not the most subdued that he ever is. So he's in the straight there.
Yeah,
He's got a 1.
He's usually yahooing around.
Takes a swig of the beer at the 400. He's like, you know what? He's usually yipping and yahooing way more than that.
Because it was,
I reckon that's relief more than anything.
yeah, because he would have known that this thing should blow him away.
Yeah.
I agree. That's relief. His watching his celebration when Osmosis won the Cornwall Stud, because that's with a 3-year-old colt, mate. That is enormous.
Oh, because like that opens the door for him to be a legitimate, like, especially with Overpass doing as well as he is, same connections. That legitimately opens the door for him for so many more opportunities to train colts in the future. Like, because your go-tos are the Snowdens, Waterhouse,
Chris Waller
for Cornwall.
Yeah, for Cornwall.
And like the China Horse Club.
Yeah.
Which
They only just recently, so that's Newgate Farm, they only just recently started giving him their colts. So I think I genuinely believe that Militarized was the first one that they gave him.
How about that?
Yeah, he's a good horse. But good win. Just that was just absolutely zero thought, basic on top selection.
6 weeks between runs is the key for him. You just back him first up every start. He'll run in the trifecta.
Fresh up.
Yeah,
Fresh up, tight turning track.
Doesn't matter who who's versing. He's a top, I don't know, top 5 sprinter when he's first up. It's like, if he continues on with this like trajectory, right, I would just give him an Everest slot and just take him there first up. It would be ballsy, but it's the best way to.
Or you even give him a run first up in the spring, like first up.
Yeah.
Like really early doors, 1,000 meters, just to fucking
I
blow
wish
the
I win,
cobwebs
Mike.
out. Yeah, blow the cobwebs out. Give him 4 to 5 weeks.
Yep.
Fresh, bang.
Yep.
Freshen up, bang. Yeah, because you're right. Like, because he didn't have an Everest slot.
No.
First up in the shorts, and I think Bjorn probably learned from his mistakes. He did the exact same thing with Osmosis. First up, had him an absolute bomb to try and get him into the Everest. Didn't work, and they were both flat second up.
Well, that's one of my biggest learnings over the last few weeks. Second up syndrome. My God,
Massive,
it's massive. And yeah, I followed in one of the sources' tips yesterday. Best bet of the day. Flying point. Second up syndrome. Terrible. And 9th. Now, Zalago. Some of the most elite form in the country, I would have thought. Canterbury Park.
Everyone was
Friday
watching that
night
race
form.
yesterday.
Why wouldn't you?
But yeah, you're right. Canterbury, Friday night form. He got smashed into third place there by a horse called Counter.
Yeah.
But I put him to the sword.
So what we're saying is...
Counter was held up massively too. Should have won.
So Counter's raced on Saturday twice. 2 or 3 times, I think. But that's at Newey. This was at Rose Hill.
This is Metro grade.
Metro grade. Might be in the summer. Doesn't matter.
Off season, they say. 'Tis the season, though, to be giving. And giving us good form vibes.
Yeah, hopefully. Thing that won this horse this race, and we'll only touch on this because we've got a rough connection to this horse. Barriers at the 2,000 metre start, at Rose Hill is so important. Like, this horse did no work. No work.
Slot in there.
Yeah, slot in there. Was 3 back the fence, just could smoke the pipe everywhere it goes. But it was a gutsy win to still like get it done. I was watching this on my phone, and this is like 400 from home. This is where my phone decided to crash.
Oh, it sucks.
No idea what happened. So hits the front there, and then it's the top 8 on the outside that just nearly nails him, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Dylan Gibbons on him. So that was what race was that?
It was the the Team Green Country Classic, 2,000 metres.
So there you go. So Counter's beaten him. I think that was a bit of a weight swing last time, but it's good form.
160 grand for like purse. So first place gets 82 grand.
Jeez.
So that's what we have in store for us.
That's what we want. Yeah, Counter. So I think he's racing next Saturday.
Okay.
Either next Friday or Saturday. I've got my Christmas party next Friday. And if he's up and about, I'll be up and about. I'll tell you that much for free.
Absolutely.
The second at Portsea as well. Some footage of her going around. She looks pretty good.
Yeah, they're being patient, which, I don't mind. It's bloody hot.
Bloody hot.
And she's a Victorian, mate. She wouldn't be used to this.
Oh.
So I reckon she might be another prep away, but whether or not we're in the ownership by then is another story.
True. True.
Because I think we're taking more of the Craig Sneesby model. It's like, if we're not seeing the ROI, then we need to kind of move on to other things.
Or we're elite businessmen.
Yeah.
Top of the tree.
Top of the tree.
Squillionaires. And top businessmen are ruthless.
Yes.
Are you Twiggy Forrest? Am I Donald Trump? Is that the sort of operators we are?
Yeah.
Ruthless. Ruthless operators.
The George Moore is a race that we did not touch on at all during the week. But good little field here. You had Zoustyle, who actually won it. Rothfire running second. That horse just can't win.
Carrying like 50,000 kilos.
61 kilos. Baller, who's won down the straight before. Natuno, now $2.80 favourite, that horse, where it showed some promise, but
not against the tried and trues.
Well, you look at what he won a race up at the Sunshine Coast first up at about 20-1, goes into 280. Good track up the Sunshine Coast. Had raced in Sydney where he was semi-well fancied, used to start about $6 in his 3-year-old season, and then he just didn't get through those wet tracks. So that's the other thing that I think I learned out this weekend is like, saw some wet tracks again this weekend. And some of the well-fancied horses that found these good tracks, they failed. And your mate Alpine Edge was going around at 30-1 again. So I haven't watched this race, and the reason why I want to bring it up is because Zoustyle wins after being out of the winner's circle for 2 years, but he starts at $3.80. Is there any possibility that you're betting into a horse like that?
No. No way in hell.
Happy to see him win.
Yeah. No, if you're backing him at that price, you're basically just thinking, okay, this is the perfect setup for him.
Yeah.
This is the ideal race for him and he's due. But no, you couldn't have any of mine. What price was Rothfire?
$3. It's about the same. I'd much bet into Rothfire, although the soft track for him is not his go.
No, he wants it bone dry.
Yeah.
Plus the top weight.
Yeah. So Zoustyle's just hugging the rail here, and just, by the looks of this, he should win this by 3. But then look how tenacious Rothfire is.
He's very tenacious. Massive ticker. He's got a weird action, Zoustyle.
Yeah.
But they blew everyone else away, that's for sure.
So they'll probably feature there'd be a sprint that probably King of Sparta will go up in and at the Magic Millions.
Mm-hmm.
And 11-11.
Yep.
11-11 will be in that race.
All those types.
Yep.
Will we see Valana there? Potentially.
Yeah. I don't have that on my list, but
he might get a little...
Oh, is he still an entire?
Still got his,
Yeah, right.
his nuts.
Okay.
Well, he showed a lot of promise. Very lightly raced as a 3-year-old. I think I backed him in a Stradbroke.
Yeah.
And he's won some handy like Group 2s and 3s, but he's just not.
Yeah.
He's
He's a genuine B to C grader. That's the way it is.
That's the way it is, and he's still got his nuts. So, but the question you have to ask yourself, James Cummings, is if you get rid of said nuts, could that bump him up from a B grader to maybe a B plus A minus type?
So what's the end game?
What's the end game? You racing this horse for prize money, or do you want to take him to stud? If I've got 10 grand to spend on a stud fee, I'm not going to Volana.
No, but I would use him as you know what? Fuck it. Let's just play around with this thing. Let's not geld him. Let's get him 1 to 2 more black type. Doesn't have to be like Group 1 status. Get him 1 to 2 more wins. And then let's race him till he's a 7-year-old entire, sprinting entire. What is the progeny going to look like? He's more battle hardened. I want to see something like that. Because that, I think, in our sprinting ranks in particular, that's what's lacking in Australia. And I'm not saying Volana's going to be the answer. I'm saying it's something different that comes to the table.
Potentially. He's by Hallowed Crown. Hallowed Crown is the same sire as Colette. And Hallowed Crown won a couple of Group 1s. I think a Golden Rose and a... Oh, this is stretching my memory. Either a Rosehill Guineas or a Randwick Guineas. So that's a middle distance type entire.
Yep.
And he's producing a Volana. Interesting.
Very fascinating.
Fascinating stuff. But, if I'm going Team Blue and I don't have as much money in my pocket as others who are going to Mo, I'm looking for another guy who won the Winterbottom last year. Paul Laley.
Yeah.
Good looking horse.
Very good. The Zipping Classic, we're watching the last 600 here. They've gone a decent clip. Bucket's got going on.
Big boy Miramasa.
Miramasa, mate. He had a EIPH.
Oh, did he?
So there was an excuse there. He needs a good track.
He needs a bone dry deck.
He is a genuine Japanese horse, that thing.
Yeah, and look, to be honest, if outside of him, if I wasn't going to bet on Miramasa, I wouldn't have bet on Military Mission.
Yeah, we mentioned him during the week just because he did have a good run in the Cup, didn't run it out, and he's at that 2,000-2,400, he's been pretty consistent, albeit in Sydney grade.
Yeah, but maybe he just loves the soft deck.
Yeah, well, graze in the wet, mate.
Yeah, true. One of the oldest sayings in the book. No, it was a good win by him.
Yeah. I found the placement for Miramasa in this race so puzzling. Why?
Yeah, maybe they wanted to use it as a bit of a measuring stick, see where he's at, wait for age, but at the same time,
mate, he's done everything he needs to do this prep.
Exactly, and you put him away, you bring him back, and you have a light autumn prep, and then you set him for the Caulfield Cup, and you try and get in with 53 kilos on his back.
It's just Well, he's now qualified for all those races because he won that black type race on Melbourne Cup Day,
Queen Elizabeth, yeah.
Yeah. So it was puzzling to me. And I look at those silks and I'm like, yeah, they're just greedy sometimes, those connections. It's like you don't need to have every single trophy on the mantelpiece.
No, but I could certainly probably have a pretty good understanding of what those conversations were like behind closed doors with Trent Buston and Natalie.
Because I look at this, this horse is now, he'd be a 5-year-old gelding now. This is the first prep where he's actually been able to race on good tracks. That's the key to him. It was a deteriorating track. They had the opportunity throughout the day because there was downgrades to scratch him. I honestly think I don't think the stable, I think the connections are going I've heard Aussie Kerr talk about this horse. He's like, oh yeah, Miramasa is a decent horse, but he's like a benchmark horse. I think they just underrate him.
Yeah.
100%. It's I think he's, honestly, if it starts like a good 3 and he's on the minimum weight in a race like a Caulfield Cup.
He can win that, yeah.
I reckon he could win it.
Yeah, and perfect comparison is bloody Durson won it.
Yeah. If it's a weak
He's
year,
he's better than Durston.
yes, absolutely. I would agree with that.
Solcombe won the Queen Elizabeth last year.
Yeah.
You know, and Solcombe's obviously proven to be a very good stayer. Muirmaster's not at that level, but still, it takes a good horse to win that race.
Yeah, it does. White Marlin?
Yeah, exactly. Takes a good horse to win that race. Fuck me dead. Anyway, so they'll put him away now. He'll come back for, a light autumn prep. You try and run him in those Group 2s, Group 3s, and then you put him away and you aim him in a Caulfield.
Yeah, because I think this was the prep to get your money from Muirmaster because they would obviously be trying to win, but they wouldn't be upset if he didn't because they want to protect his handicap rating, So it's like they'll have to get it up somewhat, but yeah, I think he's one for those futures markets where I'm interested.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
There was one in Sydney actually, 2-year-old in the first
Storm Boy. He looked very good, didn't he?
He smashed him. I actually jumped on prior to the race. If you looked at my Ned's profile, had a little tenner on him in the Golden Slipper prior to the race, and he's, he came in from 28s to 20s, but mate, he was professional. These Waterhouse 2-year-olds,
they just get it, don't they?
They really do.
They get it. Not sure who he's out of. I did check, but his mare, his dam's name is Pelican.
Justify.
He is He might be taking the mantle.
Anything.
Frankel's obviously the best.
Pelican. What's her story?
I was reading about it yesterday. I can't remember, but Storm Boy is a very, very great name. Being out of Pelican, Justify. Yeah, mate. I think this would be his second season as a sire right now. And so he's got a great record here, but mate, in the States, holy dooly.
Yeah.
Just absolutely destroying them.
Yeah.
So he's very good.
Okay.
And there was actually another 2-year-old who won first up in Melbourne, who was by Exceed and Excel, who looked very professional as well. So I don't know if either of them are going to the Magic Millions, but...
Oh, was this Anisa?
Yeah, Anisa, yeah.
I actually didn't see this race.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. She looked very professional. He looked very professional as well.
He's like 4 wide there.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, rain's come down too.
Got the Moody nose roll.
Classic.
Standard.
Iconic.
Yep. So, yeah, a couple of nice little 2-year-olds. Just sort of, rolls ahead of him.
So this is the race that Animo won? Is that right?
Ooh, potentially.
It would have been at Sandown though.
Yeah. That's a nice win, though.
That is a good win. Mate, if you're 4 wide, I don't care how good you are. If you're 4 wide, majority of the trip and you still win, you're a good horse. Yeah,
and even though it was a soft deck, it would have just been downgraded, and it was the first race of the day, so the fence wouldn't have been off.
No.
So to come 4 wide like that, nice win.
All right. So the last thing I wanted to end on was, in our little punk club personally, we have a Group 1 tally, right? So the way it works is pretty standard. 3 points for first, 2 points for second, 1 point for third. But if you tip one or you get one at double figures, you get double points.
Has that happened yet?
No. Closest we've got is probably Redina.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course.
And it was like 13s and it started 950. Hey, I'm not a victim though.
No,
I'm not, because one of the great fill-ups. But the so I thought we'd do the same thing and apply those kind of like parameters for the Brisbane Bully, like our expert tipsters.
Okay.
Brisbane Bully, the Victorian Victim, Sydney Source, Morphettville Mafia, and the Perth Prince.
Okay.
So it's fair to say that the Brisbane Bully had better days.
Okay.
Only 6 points.
Okay.
And he had a 15th and a 12th. So not his best. Now, the Mafia, mate, it wasn't looking good after race 3.
Oh no.
He only had the 2 points, but then he goes bang, 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 4 in a row.
Shit.
4 in a row. And one was at like $1.50, but one of them was like $4.80.
Hey. $1.50. If you backed $1.50 thing every single time and won every single time, you'd be very, very rich.
You're turning it over.
Yeah, 100%. It'd be very rich.
So 16 points for the Mafia, which is pretty good. So if you think of it like max 30 points, like you're doing pretty decent.
Yeah, 100%.
The Perth Prince. Now, I forgot to put in 11 points for the Prince.
Okay.
So he had the winner in the last. So he had the bookends, first and the last.
Yeah.
With a few placings, including Ripcord in the Group 1.
Okay. Yep.
The Victim,
Not a good day.
12 points.
Oh, okay.
Still not too bad.
I think I had a few fourths. The Victim had a few fourths as well.
Yeah.
which is
So
frustrating.
first, second, fourth, first, third, second, sixth, fourth. So 3 fourths and a sixth.
3 fourths. That sucks.
But it was a crowning day for the Source.
Source would have had a phenomenal day. Double points.
18 points, 2
Bang.
double points.
Bang.
So 3 winners. And he was looking at the form early on the Friday night or the Thursday, whenever. And he was like, oh, this Stormboy thing just wins. And it was at $2. I'm like, okay. Well, he was like, okay, that'll be the best bet. Then he opens up his Neds app and it's $1.50 race morning. I'm like, I can't do that.
Hey,
So he changes the best bet to 5 point.
the best bet. Like,
Shit.
it doesn't matter what price it is, mate, as long as it gets up.
Yeah, and that was one of the selections were actually scratched as well. So that's from 9 races.
Oh, shit.
18 points, 9 races. 2 doubles, including Zalago.
Averaging 2 points a race.
And Stockman.
Yeah, that's a good win.
Only
wet
just got the bob in.
Yeah, but wet deck.
Soft 5.
Was it a soft 5?
Yeah, it improved significantly.
Did it?
And that's where I think...
I thought that was the key to him. Like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you're on a soft deck.
Yeah, I think so. So, yeah, that was the summary of all of that. Mate, one more week for us. Now, if the Drifters have got to this stage, and if you're still listening to this podcast at this time of the year, credit to you.
Yeah, credit to you.
And we want to kind of give back the Christmas cheer.
Mm-hmm.
So, what we want to hear is either commenting on the YouTube or via our Apple Podcasts, giving us a review, 5-star rating at the same time across any of your channels, But what was your racing highlight of 2023? It could be what we've provided you, dear listener, or it's like personally, what was your racing highlight of 2023?
Yeah, I like that.
I think for me, if I was commenting, it'd be the Without a Fight Caulfield Cup, Melbourne Cup double.
Yeah, 100%.
That is unbelievable.
What's my racing highlight? Don't know, actually. Is it with no notice? Geez, I went off when Mr. Brightside won the All-Star Mile.
Yeah.
Went off.
Yeah.
I was
You were better.
I was at Mum and Dad's place. Had a astronomical fill-up. I think overall, yeah, Without a Fight, that's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Don't see that very often. Been a long time. Cox Plate Day.
Yep.
Just gone bang, 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 bang. That was nice.
Yeah. Well, it helps following in the victim some days,
Exactly.
I'm just-
It's been a lean few weeks.
Calculating the, he would have been close to like 25, 26 points that day. 7 winners and the rest placings.
That's big.
That's huge. That would be best in class.
Oh, have to be.
Yeah.
Have to be. But we look forward in this game, not backwards.
That's true. That is true. All right. Yeah, so get your comments in on YouTube or leave us a review on Apple Podcasts for your chance to win a On The Drift corduroy cap. And we'll send that out just in time for Christmas.
That's a Christmas gift and a half.
And you can wear that to your Christmas lunch or dinner. Whatever you may do.
Well, it's got red and green on it.
Oh,
What more do you want?
I don't know. Hooroo.
See you, Drifters.